Hi, my name is Ray. I'm a travel junkie. Join me on adventures in the most beautiful places on our planet without breaking the bank. Okay, let's check out Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. Join me on this journey. Hanoi, which was always the capital of Vietnam since about 1,000 years. It always was the political center. The word Hanoi actually means between two rivers. It's between the Red River and the Da River. And if you are a little bit interested in the rich history of Hanoi, I recommend a tour guide. If you get a tour guide who drives around with you on a bike and shows you all those sites he knows you would be interested in, you can get a good deal from these tour guides in Hanoi. But I walked around the lake a bunch of times to get some exercise, and apparently there's a lake in Hanoi where Senator John McCain landed and got captured. A nice little interesting side note. For 60 years, from 1883 to 1945, the French ruled Hanoi, and it reflects in their architecture. An outstanding example for the French architecture is the Opera House. You walk to the Opera House, you think you're in Paris. It's that simple. It's a beautiful building, and actually the traffic there is not so bad, like in the older parts of the town where the streets are narrow. The French kept those streets and boulevards fairly wide and big, so it's easy to cross the street there, get close. Sometimes they have exhibitions or concerts in that opera building. Something worthwhile to check out. Again, Hanoi translated means between two rivers, the Da River and the Red River. And I tried to get some shots of the Red River, and that was the most complicated thing I did in Hanoi. Just to get to the river is quite an undertaking, because you have to cross the freeway, which is almost impossible, and then you have to go to shanty towns where nobody speaks any more English and nobody can point you in the right direction. So I just kept going into one direction where I thought is the Red River. The streets got narrower and narrower, and there was no way to go further till there was a restaurant. And I thought if I go through the restaurant, I might get to the river. So I went into the restaurant and I saw the river. But in order to get some footage, I had to order something to eat and be in the restaurant. That's where the chicken toe story comes in. It wasn't chicken feet, it was chicken toes. I was like afraid if I don't eat it, maybe they'll throw me in the Red River or something. So there was, thanks God, there was a lot of salad, and I could hide all the chicken toes under the big salad. It made it look like I ate them. I paid quickly and ran out of the restaurant and looked over my shoulder a few times. I guess they discovered that I didn't eat the chicken toes too late, and I was gone already. But I did get some footage of the Red River. So I stayed at the Hotel Nostalgia. It's near the lake. It's nice to walk around also through the parks. There are huge statues of emperors and kings, and everybody takes photos and admires them. In those parks also is a lot of Tai Chi, yoga, and exercise classes going on. It's nice to see these people keep in shape. If you walk through this one park, there is Li Tai To. He was emperor about 1,000 years ago, or even longer ago, and kicked everybody's ass. He is very highly admired by everybody who knows his history. And again, he's one of those big emperors who made Hanoi. He was the one who resided in Hanoi and made it the political capital way back. And then back in the lake, there's a little island with a beautiful Buddhist temple. And just walking through those parks is really beautiful because you couldn't find a piece of paper on the floor or no rubbish. They keep them really clean. It's like in Switzerland somehow. Hanoi, I have to say, has quite a few tourists. I think there are more tourists than in Ho Chi Minh City, because the climate is a little bit more accommodating to everybody. It never really gets really hot. It never really gets really cold. It's moderate. It's almost 1,000 miles further north, so it doesn't have the tropical climate, which was great for me walking around in Oldtown. Oldtown really in Hanoi is the place to be. You can buy whatever you ever fancy. Everything gets sold, mainly on the streets. Even if you would want to buy something in a shop, it's hard to get in the shop because everything is in front of the shops. The souvenirs, the clothes, the food, everything. There is one street that's called the Beer Street at night. The reason why it's called Beer Street, because I really smelled it. It smells like beer there, and it's all foreigners and tourists drinking their good beer. There is Saigon and there is Hanoi beer, and both are really good. I don't think they compete. One other thing which highly recommended when I asked, where can I get the best banh mi here? The owner of the hotel I stayed, she told me, go Banh Mi 25. So Banh Mi 25, I thought it's easy to find. I walked around about an hour and a half till I found it, and then I was so hungry. I should have ordered 3 or 4 banh mi's right there. I was so hungry, but there was a fairly big line, and finally I got to order mine. And they said, yeah, it's going to take a while. Why don't you sit across the street there and have a beer and we'll bring it over to you? And that's what happened. I ate that banh mi and I knew why they're saying this is the best banh mi in town. The price of the banh mi was $1. It was super delicious. The beer was about $1.50. So my hunger was satisfied for $2.50 with delicious beer and banh mi. A great tip from me to everybody who goes to Hanoi, take the rickshaw. Hire a rickshaw for an hour and tell them to show you whatever is interesting. They get you through the city fairly quickly, and you get to experience how to maneuver around in that traffic. And the first 10 minutes I was scared maybe I lose my toes, my feet, or my legs in the traffic, but it all worked out fine. And you get to see 80% of the Old Town pretty much, because those guys are paddling like they be in the Tour de France, and I actually had to slow them down. But they point out some interesting landmarks, and you get a really good impression of the whole Old Town space, the town's living quarters, shops, and everybody is friendly. It's a great way to get around and see as much as possible of Old Town Hanoi. Another thing, the owner of my hotel called Nostalgia, which was very nice, right in the middle of Oldtown, was like $32, beautiful room. She did also my laundry, and she says, go to the Women's Museum and go to the Water Puppet Museum. The Women's Museum, surprisingly, there weren't many people, but it's way worth it. It's 4 stories high, and it tells you why Vietnam is where it is now. Vietnam is in a good place right now because of women. Women went to war for it. Women take care of kids. Women take care of the food. Women are the center of their family life. An interesting stat also is the divorce rate in Vietnam is not like in the United States, 65% of all marriages. It's not like in Europe, 50% of all marriages. It's below 1%. It tells you it's based on family life there, and you can't go wrong with that attitude. I think one whole floor of the Women's Museum is dedicated to the women soldiers, the way they could fight in combat against the Americans, and eventually won the war. The Women's Museum, it's really worth the couple bucks it costs to go there. After the Women's Museum, I went to the recommended water puppet show. Unfortunately, I couldn't really film in there with the camera above my head. The people behind me maybe would have thrown me in the water, so I didn't want to risk that. And I thoroughly enjoyed the 1-hour show. It's very entertaining and also tells you a part of their history. Okay, that's it for Hanoi, one of the oldest cities and also the capital of Vietnam. We have a lot of fun there, and we head from here to World Heritage Place, Ha Long Bay. Super exciting, incredible experience, and lots of adventures. You really have to experience that with me, so come along, and that'll be the next episode, and you're gonna have more fun than you ever thought you will have.